Hey folks, welcome to Maverick Gun Works. Today we're going to do a little overview of the Savage Model 220 slug shotgun that is made in the USA. And here we have the Savage shotgun. As with any firearm, first thing we're going to do is make sure we open the bolt and prove that we have no ammunition in the magazine or in the chamber. Alrighty. And with this one, we can also remove the box magazine that holds 2 rounds. And actually, you could go ahead and put, before you put the box into the gun, you could also drop a shell into the chamber, close your bolt. Before you put the magazine in, you'll have a total capacity of 3 rounds. And with this one, to clean it, it's best to go ahead and remove the bolt to start with. So, with this gun, to remove the bolt, we have to make sure that our safety is in the off position. We've got a red dot showing. I'm going to pull our bolt back, almost all the way back. To take the bolt out, we depress the lever up here on the side of the receiver. But first we have to pull the trigger. That allows this latch to be pushed down all the way. And now your bolt will come out. All right. Isn't that pretty cool? And this, now we have much easier access to clean out the gun to start with. And to do that, we're going to run our solvent-soaked patch into the receiver, right on down through the barrel, taking all the dirty stuff right out the end of the barrel. Same direction as the bullet always. And we'll come back with a few clean dry patches to clean up the solvent and remove the debris that's been dissolved. And our final patch will be a lightly oiled patch so we can replace the lubrication that's been removed from your solvent. All right. And while we have the bolt out, since this is a slug gun, I want to mention we have drilled and tapped receiver on top, made for a scope base to be mounted. And since you're using a single slug through the barrel, it's designed to shoot just like a rifle, except it's a shotgun caliber. And because of that, I want to give you a quick view, or quick glance, I guess you say, into the barrel. If I get my camera focused on here, and you can see the rifling down inside the barrel. So it is a 20 gauge shotgun that is fully rifled. Okay, puts a good spin on the bullet. All right. Now let's go ahead and put it back together. Now we'll stick our bolt back in, and while we're taking the bolt back, we also want to observe the fact that we have to pull the trigger again, push the release lever down, push your bolt back in. Now the bolt will go in. And speaking of bolts, by golly, this one has a rather large bolt handle. Makes it really nice as far as being able to access it easily, especially in the cold winter days when you could possibly be out deer hunting, sitting in a tree stand, you get cold. This makes it easy to grab hold of the bolt and operate it. And as far as the trigger goes on this gun, let's take a look at the trigger now. Okay, we have the adjustable IQ trigger by Savage Arms, and this trigger itself has a trigger tab safety on the center of it, so the gun, even if the top lever is off, it is in the fire mode, the trigger will not function unless you have the center tab squeezed. So we'll try to squeeze the edge of it and the trigger will not move. We have to, let's see, it just clicked right there. I put enough pressure on it to make it move, but it did not fire the gun because I didn't have the center tab depressed all the way. So to make it fire, we'll cock it again, and we depress the center tab, and then the trigger will activate. While we're at it, let's go ahead and put a trigger gauge on it and see what we have pull-wise, how much effort it's going to take to make the gun fire. We'll hook into our trigger here, pull our little tugger gauge back on it, and look at that, 3 3/4 pounds looks like. So that's pretty good actually. I'm surprised, honestly. That's a very good trigger break, especially for a shotgun right out of the box. All right. But just a personal note here, the trigger for this gun that has the little tab on the center of it, that's something I personally don't care for. It may be perfectly fine for everybody else in the world. Just my preference is to when I blade my trigger finger on the trigger, I like for it to put pressure on it and it goes bang. I just don't particularly care for the tab safety that I have to move first. Just my personal preference. And if that's something that you don't particularly care for, otherwise the gun is a really nice gun to me. It wouldn't be that difficult, I don't believe, to replace this with a different trigger if that was something of concern to you. One other thing I want to touch on with this gun the recoil pad is it does have a firm rubber recoil pad on it, and if you're a person that may be concerned about recoil, that's something else you could address, is to possibly replace this with a softer recoil pad, or even worst case scenario, you could actually have an mercury load installed inside the buttstock, which would help control recoil. It would add a little weight to the gun, but at the same time it keeps the gun from recoiling as severely as it would otherwise. All right. Anyway, we're going to snap our box magazine back in place. If I can wiggle it just right, there we go. And well, that pretty much concludes our review of the Savage. It's a neat shotgun, and with deer season coming up in the next month or so, we'll be looking at rigging these guns out and have them ready for deer season. Come check us out at Maverick Gun Works if that's something we can help you with.